Okay, my name is Nicholas, and identity, personal identity. For me, that means primarily the same consciousness, or the essential aspect of identity is the idea of continuity. Because if it's not the same consciousness, it's not the same person. And it's from the book, when they're something that I certainly would not agree with, as they didn't. The whole regenerative mind, like creating a brain, it's essentially a clone, is what that would be in your body. But I think to illustrate better how I see identity, I'm just going to say a little bit about why I think the other listed aspects that they discussed of identity are not as essential to my definition. So, properly acquired memory. I don't really think that is. I don't think that stands, because if I have somehow been supplanted with some memories, and my mind has ruminated over them enough, then I have probably made them memories, and I'm assuming that is it's possible that it could become part of your identity. You might associate yourself with having had these memories. It might have changed your views in some way. I don't know why, just because they weren't something that you actually went through, that they shouldn't be legitimate portions of your identity. Same goes for, like, if, say, in 30 years, maybe less, maybe more, we have made significant strides in the areas of artificial intelligence. And as far as we can tell, they are the software, the robots, if they have limbs and such, we have made an artificial life form. It learns. It may say we even have made artificial emotion, so it actually has some mechanisms to experience maybe even depression. Not based on, like, coded things specifically, but like an artificial neuronal network or something of that sort. So if you did, however, hardwire it to understand its name as Susan, that would be acquired in questionable means, I guess. So I don't think that is integral to identity. Singularity. Now that's somewhat more of an issue for me, because there's a camp of people who are hoping to achieve immortality via uploading their consciousness to some form of software. And it's like, unless they died that very instant when they uploaded it, and their consciousness went from their brain, like their body became an empty shell, or I don't know, somebody else's consciousness could get put into it or something, I guess. But unless their entire, like, their body should have to go completely, it should be a shell at that point. Otherwise, I mean, you're there, you're alive, your consciousness is now on some software, that's not you, because obviously you're still in your body. Sort of the same. I don't. If if there was if there was two of, here's where I kind of have a division between this idea of singularity of bodies and of consciousness. So long as there is a continuity, and in the afterlife, I can conceive multiple entities that have one consciousness that was continued over from my own. So I don't have a problem with if in fact if there's some hereafter where there are multiple copies of me. I don't know why they would just be of me, but multiple entities that have the continuity of consciousness is the most important for me. So I could be a dragon, a snake, and I don't know, a bunch of lizard evil things. But I just mean like butterflies, a whole pack of butterflies. But so long as those things all, like if I had 20 sets of eyes through different bodies, but it's still my consciousness, like a hive mind, is what I'm just getting at. If that seems just feasible for me. It doesn't have to necessarily be one entity for one continued consciousness. So that's why I see continuity as the most important, not necessarily the other aspects that were discussed in the book. Okay, so that is my opinion of identity. And the other question from the second chapter is I opted for the second chapter's questions about the examples of conceptual analysis. On page 31, Gretchen condenses Cohen's analysis of personal identity into memory, and memory into apparent memory, which is caused in the right way. Sort of something I just talked about. And I chose this because it was based on Cohen's, it was a condensation of Cohen's story of how he was a child and his parents sort of gave him the memory that he did something. And I had the same exact experience. I'm sure a bunch of people have. I'd done some things, and I formed a whole layout of what I've been told, where we were at some restaurant, and I envisioned we were at a booth, and the things that I'd said, and it's sort of similar to the caveat is that it's the same body. It's not the difference between this instance and the afterlife is that it's the same body, and so it's kind of like say if you were extremely intoxicated or sleepwalking, you were doing things, people can tell you did them, but you don't necessarily remember it all. Right, anyway, the second portion of the second question from the second chapter is to generate a conceptual analysis. I chose to cover the equal opportunity. To make this quick, because I'm almost at 10 minutes now. So first I divided up. Equal strictly means exactly the same, so equivalent. Opportunity, the possibility of achieving maybe something greater, the possibility of achieving something. So it doesn't strictly mean that in our sense of in what we understand it as. I defined it as something that it cannot occur necessarily in the natural state, of the world, because some would say, well, there's no laws, everybody can do anything, so it's equal opportunity, you can do whatever you want to. But no, tough guy is going to take your stuff. Nobody's going to stop anybody. So if you're small and weak, there's nothing to help you. So I'd just say it cannot occur in something in nature, equal opportunity. It's not something to occur in nature. But as it pertains, I also defined it not strictly as a nature state thing. It's not something that needs to be in a state. It could be a stateless society, but I say society's concerted effort to reduce the disparity of those who, outside of their given circumstances, would be much better off. So to reduce the disparity between those people and those who were more fortunate. Thank you. I'm sorry for the length.